All right, so welcome to the Unfiltered podcast. I am Penguin, and this is my buddy.
Futuristic
What
bum.
was it again? Bum. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll just go with Bum.
bum
So I
is
was about to
bum
say your
is
real
nice.
name.
I mean, either or. I don't give a damn.
We'll just go with Bum
Yeah.
because it almost sounds like dumb and gum gum.
Uh,
So we've tried podcasting before, and that failed horribly.
oh, I mean, I don't even know if anyone even saw it. Honestly.
No, it was never edited or nothing.
Ah.
The only thing we like, I still have it on the other computer too. That's the sad part. Like, I still have the audio on the computer.
Uh.
Like, I might take it off of that computer and put it on mine and just upload bits, just because, like, me drunk off of Guinness.
Yep. The only thing I remember from that night is the beer
It's popcorn.
and was there popcorn? I don't
There
know.
was popcorn. I don't know if that. I think that was after the podcast.
I also
but
remember it being
I
hot
do
as
know.
hell in that room.
Yeah, well, yeah, a small ass room with
Four
four
people.
guys. That
Yeah.
just sounds. Yeah, it was you, me, Tim, and
James.
James. Yeah, and yeah, we were in there for like an hour and a half the first night.
God. It was fun, don't get me wrong, but if it weren't for the Guinness, man, I would have been like, hey, we need to get the hell out of this room. I'm done. I'm done with this.
Yeah, fucking it. Ironically, I had popcorn tonight. The tradition lives.
I was fancy. I had lots of seafood from Sakura, and it was delicious.
Oh, that's why you're all so happy on those text messages. Nice. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm very new to this. If this isn't quite up to par, give us a few episodes to like
Oh yeah.
work out the kinks.
Warm up. Yeah, because this is like my first. Like, this is our first time like not being in the same room.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
we're clear across town. So
So yeah,
hooray for fuck technology being up in this bitch.
yeah. I'm the
Not to mention, I'm actually using like a computer, like actual fucking mic, like something you have to plug into your computer and whatnot, and
I
it looks all
have a
fucking
headset.
fancy and shit, and and you're using a goddamn headset.
Yeah. Razer, sponsor me.
Hashtag sponsors. Speaking of which, speaking of sponsors, may have gotten a sponsor for racing.
Oh, fuck yeah. Who?
I can't say yet because it's not a for sure thing,
Nothing's official.
and
Just
I don't. Yeah, and I mean, like, if it falls through, then I'll mention it, and I'll still give them a shout out because they're fucking awesome, and I will continue going to them no matter what. But if it doesn't go through, I'll probably still shout them out, just, for that reason alone, because they're an awesome ass company. But I don't want to say anything quite yet.
all right. Fair enough.
So, yes. But my first thing I want to talk about is accents, because, like, we're both from Utah, right?
Oh yeah. Born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised.
We
Like,
don't say our T's or our hard D's. It's
yeah, we don't say Washington. We say Washington.
it's not mountain. It's mountain.
Mountain. Yeah, it's not male. It's Mel.
Yeah.
Can't forget
Uh,
Karn. Gotta
not
love the
hurricane.
Swedes.
It's not hurricane. It's
It's
hurricane.
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 No, it's not even Hurricane, dude. It's Hurricane.
That's what the old.
That's
old
how
people
fucking
say.
old school.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's not battery. It's not battery, dude. That's a military emplacement. It's battery.
Battery.
It's battery. Like, of how our like city was founded by the Swiss and the Southerns. Our fucking dialect is
It's
fucked.
so strange.
But the thing is apart from that, like, the weird thing is, like, when I started, like, hanging out with my friend I'm gonna use his gamer tag 'cause I don't want to say his real name. Poison Cashew. He's of Canadian descent. His mom's from Canada.
Oh, you don't say, hey.
And the more, fucking either, and that was Irish as fuck. But the more I started hanging out with him, the more I picked up Canadian dialect.
Have you asked him for some
And like,
poutine yet?
I haven't. I don't even say oh fuck buddy.
Oh,
Like
fuck, buddy.
the only thing really that the only like major Canadian like word or like voice accent that comes out is that it's out.
About, out.
Like and I don't say about, like I just say out. And over the years, like he's married and has 2 kids, and so we don't hang out as much anymore. But like I'll just fucking go out, and like they've noticed. Like last time we hung out, I said out, and like he slowly turned and looked at me, and his wife was trying not to laugh, and I'm like, yes, I know, I sound Canadian when I say out. But there's a lot of times where like I'll be talking to somebody, and it will sound like I'm from Texas.
You see,
Like I've never been to Texas.
no.
I've never been to Canada either. So
I mean, sometimes I'll spice things up and talk in an Irish accent because I predominantly of Irish
if I
descent.
really like, well, with that, like the only time like my Scottish will come out is if I hurt myself. Like if I'm trying not to swear, so like at work, I mean it will still come out a swear word, but it won't be in like American English. It'll come out fucking Scottish.
But I mean, I'm lucky in the sense, as far as this topic, to work at a gas station. I get to hear everyone. Like,
I know that one.
it's. they're-
That's how I know when Canadians come into my work because they'll say please.
no, the weirdest accent.
Because nowadays it's just like I'll take this or I want that. It's like motherfucker, how about you take fucking proper etiquette and ask nicely?
Did your mother never teach you your manners?
No, because seriously, like growing up, like if I didn't say please or may I, like I'd straight up be told no and I wouldn't get it.
Yeah, same. But no,
And even to that, like I'll even do that at work. Someone will say, I'll take that, and I'll go no.
yeah.
Your mom yelled at me once for that.
I don't doubt it. But no,
And then they're like, please. I'm like, there you go. The worst part was she was like, it's sad because I was literally just telling my kids like an hour ago that they should be nice and say please. I'm like, you're fucking preaching the choir, but you ain't going to church.
I mean, I already screw with my regulars. Like, they know, like, I'm just dicking around, but a few times I've caught them just like, hey, can I have this? I don't know. Can you? Please, can I have this?
Yeah, I've done that. There's one time though I made one lady actually believe I was from fucking Scotland. Cause like it's an old coworker, and I told her I was like $5 I can make this person believe I was from Scotland. She goes, do it. I'm like, all right, I will. She comes up and I'm like, what can I get for you? That sounded more Irish. I guess it's an Irish day, but like the Scottish was coming out, and I said out like an American. That's pretty cool, but like the Scottish was really heavy that day, and she's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oi, I'm from Edinburgh," and she's like, "Oh my god, Scotland." I'm like, "Aye," and she's like, "Cool, well, bye," and she like walks away, and I'm like, $5, bitch. I never got that $5.
No, there were these customers back when we started really enforcing the face coverings, and then we already had like the shield in front of the register.
Mm-hmm.
They were having a hard time hearing me, and I'm just like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna just start talking like an Irishman. Like, they're loud and they know it. And so I go, all right, well,
With that, it
what
just
can I
starts.
get for you, laddie? And they're like, dude, we heard you fucking like clear as day. Quit talking American.
Just learn German, dude.
Just Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Learn German. That's all you need, dude. Because Germans are just naturally fucking loud, and I know this for a fact.
So loud, you might need the Krankenwagen.
Pretty much, because you'll be fucking deaf in an hour.
But no.
Like you go to a German restaurant, it's going to be loud because in German like culture, everyone will talk normally even though they already sound pissed off. But once the alcohol starts pouring, one German's gonna start talking loud, and then the other German has to try and talk over that. So they go like twice that, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And when you go into a German restaurant, Jesus Christ, it's like the that one UFC video where this guy was recording behind him, and it's already fucking loud, and the guy just stands up and goes, "Grab his dick and twist it." That's literally a German restaurant.
The old dick
Apart from the
twist.
grabbing of the dick.
But, so, since we're on accents, what's the strangest accent you've ever heard? Because there was one accent that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't place it. So I had to ask them.
Okay, well,
So, real quick. So I asked them, "Where are you from?" Well, I was. They were like, "Well, I was born in Germany. I moved to Switzerland for 15 years, and for
the
20
fuck?
years I lived in Scotland. So my accent is weird." I'm like, "Didn't you know shit?" Like,
It's fucking beer, cheese, and fucking whiskey, dude.
God, it was. I
Okay,
can't even
I
replicate
don't
it.
know if I don't know if mine really counts as an accent, but the thing was, like, I could understand them, and this actually came up on my Facebook feed the other day, and I felt so fucking bad. It's when I worked for Maverick. I'm gonna say the gas station. I don't give a fuck. Sponsor, and this person came in, and like everything seemed like this is gonna sound so bad, but everything seemed normal about this person, but like they definitely didn't sound like they're from like the States. And I was, obviously polite and whatnot, because they weren't being a dick. And after ringing them up and all that, and I'm like, okay, I gotta ask, where are you from? I'm picking up an accent. And they're like, what? I'm like, where are you from? I'm picking up an accent. She goes, oh no, I'm just deaf.
See, I had that
Like,
same thing happen though.
the thing was, it wasn't like the typical deaf that like they could speak English, but it's like, doing like that kind of deaf. Like it was like this, like you could understand them perfectly, but
Just off.
it sounded like it was like, yeah, it sounded like a mixture of like European and New York.
Yeah, no. The same thing happened
Speaking
to
of
me,
which,
man.
this dude came into my fucking work the other day, and he literally, like, you could tell like this guy was from New York. It's just the way he looked. The only thing he was missing was a goddamn cigar in his mouth.
Did he have the gold chain and all that?
Did not have the gold chain, but he had a wife beater and slicked back hair and like pants, and like it was decent shoes, but it wasn't like mob style. But like everything, like the aurora about this dude, like he just walked in, he just wanted to walk up to him and go, "How you doing?"
So like a straight up wop. Like,
Oh yeah, straight up like fucking Queens style, like what's that one movie, Goodfellas.
well, you think I'm funny? Yeah.
Funny how like I'm a clown, I amuse you. Funny how, fucking tell me how the fuck I'm so fucking funny.
Uh,
Tell me. It's because you're short.
oh, so that's how you get people to laugh.
Yeah, it's in my insecurities, I gotta like try and outdo that. It's either that or I beat the fuck out of them.
Uh,
Speaking of which, okay, I gotta talk about this story. This is too fucking hilarious not to talk about. So, I'm kind of talking to this girl right now. She's a couple years younger than me, not by much, but that's not the important part here. But that's kind of like the key moment. So you know me, I'm a very friendly guy. I'll talk to everybody as like a fucking person. It doesn't matter about your race or your gender.
yeah.
And there's this chick at my work, right? And we were friends on Facebook, and I went, I was already clocked out for the day. I was done, and I was going home, and I don't know if it was like the check was ready or I was buying something. I can't remember, but I like to talk to her, or did, because she was just an easy person to talk to. It could have just been that, but I went up and there's a dude in front of me, and so obviously I couldn't do anything because he was already there. And like she looked pissed, like straight up, like she wanted to choke the fuck out of this dude. And he ends up like storming off, and I'm like, oh, damn. And she goes, ex-husband,
Oh.
and yeah, and I was like, well, fuck, do I say congratulations or I'm sorry? And she laughed, and more people were coming up and whatnot, so I didn't want to like
Take up too much of
fucking
her time.
make her feel, yeah. And so I wrote on her Starbucks cup, message me on Facebook, and which I could see as like, oh, this guy's probably gonna ask me out or whatever. But I guess she didn't know that I was already talking to another girl, and I end up sending her a message later that I was night technically, and the only thing I said was hey, and I gotta see if I could find this. I'm not gonna look it up; it's too much on my phone. But I got screenshots of the conversation. But pretty much I said hey, and like a minute later, my phone goes off, and it was from her messenger, and I guess like she already has a boyfriend, and like this dude was like, obviously you can't take a hint, and that she already has a man, and she's not interested in you, and duh, duh, duh. So which my response was, oh, because I'm so interested in her that a man and a woman can't be friends. Go fuck yourself, dude. And this is where I know he's young, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to figure out the whole situation, his next words, "Fight me, pussy." To which at that you like because of like I hadn't gone shooting, so like my anger level was like way out through the roof. Instead of just trolling him like I would have, I immediately responded with pick it. I think it was like pick up time and a place or something like that. And he's like, "I'll be glad to fight your dumb ass." I'm like, "Okay, Monday 9 after work." And he's like, "Got balls for a little man." And I'm like, "Don't underestimate my height for my power, motherfucker." And like we were just going back and forth and back and forth, and then like I kind of started to calm down and be like an adult. Obviously, with something this kid doesn't know the meaning of yet. And he was like, "It's probably a good thing because I didn't really want to fight on work grounds anyway." Immediately, right there, he just basically told me he works for the same company as I did. But with that, I was like, I never said we would be fighting on company grounds. All we gotta do is walk up 30 yards and we're fucking not pizza, Little Caesars. We would be off company ground. But yeah, that was my fun little almost getting in a fight story. Ow, I just hit my mic. That got picked up. That's funny.
I mean, I haven't had anything like that in a long time.
I know,
At least
same
not that
here.
But also, I just don't talk to
Like,
people after work. Like, fuck people. I'm done. I had
well,
to be nice to you
I mean, I
all
agree
day.
with that. I don't like people. I'm not a people person, but I mean, like at the same time, I am. Like, I like to talk to people if they're really cool. Like Heather for my work, she's super fucking chill, and like I could literally talk to her all day. She's just an awesome person to talk to. But yeah, there's just some people that are just too fucking stupid. That yeah,
Yeah, no. I deal with too much stupid people throughout the day that just the thought of even trying to talk to some people. Like, I barely talk to my roommate. I mean, I love him to death. Don't get me wrong. He's a dope ass motherfucker. He's a brother to me. But I get home and I'm like, okay, I don't have to pretend to be nice anymore. Fuck everyone. And like,
that's
there
the
are some
great thing
days.
about wearing the masks right now. That's the only good
Oh,
thing about wearing the mask right now is like someone will be a complete asshole to you, and like
you could be mouth.
they walk away, and you're just like fucking cocksucking son of a bitch.
Oh, people walk in when I don't when I'm trying to get shit done and I'm like on a time crunch. I'm like cussing up a storm, but they never tell. They'll walk up. So
Yeah,
how are you? And it's just, oh, I'm good. if you would fuck off, I would be doing fucking better, you piece of shit.
Yep. And that's the other good thing. Knowing a different language that a majority of people here in Utah don't speak.
Oh, you can cuss people
I
out
am
all day.
so glad that I'm so glad my mom taught me some German. Because they'll be like, I wanted a pound and a half. And I'm like, you said a pound. No, I said a pound and a half. So you cut them the pound and a half. And they're like, is there anything else? No, bye. And you're like, Schwanzkampf. Or my typical favorite, Mundficker. Or Juden. That one's also another one.
No, I
Don't look up those words, people. I got ice in my mouth. Give me a second.
no I. The only other language that I could even say I kind of know is Spanish. I just know kitchen Spanish.
And that's yeah.
Donde está pollo? Or carne asada.
Please, yeah. I mean, that's it.
Cállate, way. Like I can.
Te quiero puta. That's the only
Lo
one.
quiero Home Depot. Like it's.
Where is the McDonald's?
But no, I would love to learn. Like, I guess I kind of learned Chinese, Mandarin, and French.
The only Mandarin I know is orange.
Shut the fuck up.
That's the only Mandarin I know. It's the only Mandarin I know.
I mean, I'll teach you one Mandarin word right now. The Mandarin word for
That's good
America.
luck.
Megua.
Shithole?
Megua.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Megua.
Like, I'll be closing with Luis, and he's been trying to teach me some Spanish. It just doesn't, like, Popo. That's the only word that I know. Or at least remember that he's told me. Which I think means, poo.
Gaga. Yeah.
Oh, there's that one too, but Popo. And Cállate way. But anyway, it's just simple.
Oh yeah, like I had a guy call me the other night, like right near the end of my shift, and at first I just thought, the phone wasn't picking things up, so I go, "Hello." Like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that? And like, I can try to understand some Spanish, but if you're from the motherland, like. Dear God, my brain only registers at 30 frames per second. Like you're going at 240 FPS right there. I can't understand it. I just finally I'm like, no habla español, no habla español, no, and click. I'm like, my God, I don't know what kind of fucking curse he was putting on me, but.
It's Sheeny. It's a Sheeny curse. Would that work on a Jew?
I don't know.
I mean, you're Jewish. So would the Sheeny curse work on you? Because, the Sheeny curse is a Jewish curse, so would the Jewish curse work on a Jew?
I don't know, man. I don't think the Jewish people need any more curses. Like...
I don't know what you're talking about. I have nothing to do with any of those. Like,
Yeah, no, not at all.
At work the other day, I can't remember what it was, or at least who I was closing, but they were like, hey, can you get the oven door for me? I'm like, why you got to ask the German to get the oven?
Because they know you can.
Speaking... well, no, we just know how to fill it, not clean it or anything.
No, you cleaned it real well. You just kept things in there for a bit longer than they should have been.
Overcooked. Yeah, I mean, that's why we drink. So speaking of like FPS and like 30 frames and whatnot, what games are you looking forward to? Because there's quite a bit of games coming out, right?
The only one that I'm genuinely looking forward to, and that I went against all of my morals and pre-ordered, is Cyberpunk 2077.
Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be into that because like I saw the trailer and it just like the graphics look decent, but it just doesn't intrigue me.
I have high hopes for it because they made one of my favorite games of all time, Witcher 3. The Wild Hunt.
You gotta be careful with that though, because with that, I mean, I'm super ecstatic for the Mass Effect remasters that's coming out.
Did they officially announce that? I didn't know.
They haven't. They haven't announced it
Okay.
yet, but it's pretty fucking obvious. It is pretty fucking obvious. But with that, like Andromeda,
Yeah, but
like yeah, you got to be careful, man. Like,
the
cause
difference.
I'm in love with the Mass Effect series, and then like they announced Andromeda, and like I got super hyped with the first fucking trailer, and it showed no gameplay footage. Like that's how much of a Mass Effect fan I am. Andromeda comes out, and I didn't buy it because I tend to wait because I want to read the reviews.
Yeah.
And when I noticed that none of them were good, I'm like, oh boy. 3 years later, I bite the bullet and I bought the game, and I understood why everyone was just.
I mean, I kind of wish I had done the same thing with The Last of Us Part 2. Now, here's what I'm going to say. The Last of Us Part 2 isn't a bad game. Like, the gameplay and everything works really well. Some of the story,
I
though,
I already
is.
I already knew about it before it came out because the guy that was working for the company that was treated like shit, he left and he leaked everything.
Yeah, I know those leaks came out. Someone told me about them, but I never even looked at them. I'm like, no, I'm gonna buy it anyway. I want to be surprised. And
It was me who told you about it, but I wasn't gonna ruin it. But and like they were like, "Hey, I killed off Joel," and I'm like, "Why the fuck would you kill off that person? It's like the
spoilers,
essential
if
part of the game."
you guys haven't, uh, I mean, honestly, at this point, who doesn't know? But also,
Yeah,
like, if you've been living under a rock and somehow found this podcast, spoiler. Yeah.
of all things, of all fucking things. But another game, ironically, like I never thought I would be super jacked for, is the new not Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed game.
I've heard it looks good, but I haven't genuinely
It,
enjoyed an Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 2, the first game with Ezio.
see, the I'm not a huge Ezio fan. The last like enjoyable, like I liked Odyssey. Wait, is that the Spartan one? Is that Odyssey? I
Yes.
think so.
Origins is the
That one
Egypt
I
one.
yeah, I didn't like Origins. I thought that game was shit. But Odyssey I liked for a little bit, and then I just stopped caring mainly because Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I took that off my hard drive, and I was like I'm still playing Red Dead 2 to this day. But like Origins, it was Origins sucked. Odyssey was okay, but the last good Assassin's Creed game that I played that I loved was Black Flag,
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus with the Assassin's Creed games is that Black Flag was like
and
fantastic.
because it wasn't your typical assassin. Like that was kind of the thing. It like kind of stowed away from like the typical um like storyline of it because instead of like oh he's a down and out nobody but he comes from a family of fucking assassins, you play as a fucking pirate that kind of goes into the way towards the end of becoming an assassin, and that's kind of what it seems like with this one coming out.
I mean, I don't
And
think I'm
so
gonna buy it.
that's
But
I'm not gonna buy it on day one because I'm not that devoted to the Assassin's Creed franchise like I am with Red Dead. Like Red Dead, I bought it before it was supposed to like immediately be released. I bought it like an hour and a half before it came out. Fucking Walmart just didn't give a shit.
yeah. Uh, oh, another game that I am kind of excited for, the new Spider-Man game.
I didn't know there was coming out with a
Yep.
new one.
You will be playing as, from what I understand, Miles Morales. Oh,
Oh, it should be Tobey Maguire.
your special powers, pizza
Fucking
time.
just walking down. Yeah, pizza time. That hair flip,
Yep. Yeah. Why would you
fighting
play
off
as
vagina.
fighting in a desert? Yeah. Dry and arid. But
The new Call of Duty game, Cold War. I wouldn't say I'm hyped because like I played the beta and the beta was okay. I didn't like how long it took for the grenade to actually be thrown. Because like in the old Call of Duty games, you just press the button and it goes. This one's like you have to pull the pin, and then like the detonator part has to actually fling off, and then you throw it.
I mean,
To which obviously they don't know that you could just pull the pin and throw it, and that detonator will actually fly off in midair. But like this one, like Call of Duty's really milking the Black Ops.
yeah. I mean, I've stopped buying Call of Duties day one anyway. Like, I don't even remember why I even
Yeah,
particularly bought Modern Warfare. I mean, it's okay.
for
Like,
YouTube, which we only did one goddamn fucking
oh,
video.
that's right. And I mean,
Blech.
it's a fun enough game. It's not like I despise it in any
Yeah,
way,
I
shape, or
mean,
form.
I enjoyed it, but I wasn't in love with it.
Yeah, like it's never gonna be in my like, oh my god, it's the game of the year. No, it's never gonna be
Yeah,
in that category. But
the
for
storyline though, I love the storyline, the single player
oh yeah, it was
campaign.
actually really good.
Oh, they're
But
orgasmic.
I mean, it felt like they were trying to be edgy with a few scenes, which I typically don't mind if it doesn't feel forced. But it kind of felt like some of the scenes were just like, oh, this is like shocking. They're just trying to uh, build off of No Russian. Like,
Well, in a way, it kind of showed like what war is truly about. It's not simple like black and white. Like when that guy has the bomb strapped to his fucking chest, and the guy was like, "I can't fucking get it off him," and he just yeets him over the goddamn railing, and he
yeah.
blows up. I mean, I was like, that's war.
See, it's not that.
And then when they captured that one person, he's like, "If you don't want to fucking be here, don't fucking be here, but we're gonna fuck him up." And I'm like, oh, "Fuck yeah, interrogation
Yep.
shit, hell yeah."
That's not even. Those aren't even the ones I was really thinking of. It's when you played as the children. Spoilers.
Oh, that. It's, someone's like, "Oh my god, you play as kids in this game?" Oh,
I
yeah, that one I felt was just it, like I understand it for the story
mhm.
mode of like why like the brother and sister were so goddamn close, but I didn't feel like it needed to be that long of a
No, it
mission.
really didn't. Like, I don't even think. I think we could have got the
Like
same
a
effect.
like a cut scene.
Yeah, like nothing that we had to play, and we would have got the same effect. Like, look, this is what happened. This is why we are where we are in our lives and why we're doing it. But, you know, to each their own. Like, I thought the campaign was really good. Kind of short, but really good.
Yeah, hopefully they make a sequel. Like that's what I'm really hoping for.
Although,
I think it'd be cool if they did a sequel.
speaking of Cold War, how do you feel about Activision uh, pulling the Tiananmen Square part of their ad?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no. When the initial like launch trailer for the Cold War happened, they had Tiananmen Square footage, and they pulled that ad and changed it to not have Tiananmen Square.
No, I don't know. People are just pussies nowadays.
Right? Like,
Speaking of which, like, this one's probably gonna be morbid, but nah, I can't talk about it. It's too fucked up. I can't talk about that one. I'll tell you later when we're done recording. Like it's fucked. Like you felt bad for this guy, and then like you see what happens, and you're like, oh, fuck.
I mean, all right.
Like it's bad. Like if I like it got mentioned on like someone took the clip and they started like putting it on TikTok videos,
Wait,
and it was a guy who's doing a Facebook live thing, and he ends up offing himself.
yeah, I heard about it. I don't know anything about it. I didn't want to look up
I've
anything. It's just I feel bad
I've
for.
seen the video. Yeah, it's like you definitely felt like when you find out why he did it, you really feel for him. But like when you watch the video, it's like I've seen gruesome shit before, but this one's like holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen the video. I didn't want to look up the video. Didn't want to. When I had TikTok,
I
I
I
didn't
don't
want to like.
I don't recommend it.
I mean, it's just one of those
I
things. I'd
I
rather
don't
let that
recommend
guy
it.
rest. He was
Yeah,
obviously in a lot of pain, and who am I to dig up that pain for his family to
kind of.
experience over
Yeah.
and over and over and over again? And the
Well, I was
more
just curious on like how he died because the only thing I read that he's like he committed suicide, and I'm like, oh, what did he do? Like, did he, Amanda taught it and drank a shitload of bleach, or like did he put a pistol on the side of his head? Like, what did he do? And then I saw what was next to him in the video, and I'm like, oh, this is where we're going.
is it too much to ask what?
It's a shotgun.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Kurt
and I mean
Cobain
it
did.
was. Oh no, Kurt Cobain, like he still had his face.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
this this one.
whew, all right.
Like this one's
That took a
yeah. Let's just
turn.
put it. I'm just gonna put that in your brain. Yeah.
uh,
So, what's one of like okay, growing up, like I don't want to talk about sports injuries. I just want to talk about like what's your worst non-sports injury growing up?
uh, broke my wrist riding my bike to school.
Ooh.
Like I was like a speed demon, and I was running late, so I was just bombing down this hill, and I took a turn way too quickly, and I broke the wrist that was opposite from where I landed. Like I landed on my right hand side, my
Oh.
left wrist broke, and I had never broken a bone before. I didn't know what a broken bone looked like, so I started grabbing my bike and just walking my ass back up the hill to get to school. And one of my neighbors or something dropping off his kid saw me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to ride?" I'm like, "Yeah." Hold up my wrist. I'm like, "Well, that doesn't look too good," because it was like one of those breaks where you could see the droop. Like, it was-
Oh, dude. Speaking of which, okay. Speaking of which, um, so my oldest nephew's in tackle football, and they were playing Desert Hills a couple weeks
gross.
ago,
Go on.
and yeah, it was, but yeah, it was fucking idiots. But everyone was on the same bleachers because the sun was out of your face. One side though was Desert Hills, the other side was Dixie, and um, we're on the bleachers, we're watching them play, and out of nowhere, you just hear like a blood curdling scream, and like everyone like turned around and were like, "Fuck! Did someone fall off the goddamn bleachers? Like, what's going on?" And like this lasted for like 30 seconds, and everyone's like, kind of just like looking around. And then like we're looking back at the football and like looking back around, and then this little girl comes walking up the stairs of the bleachers, and she's holding like her like forearm right next to her elbow, and like the forearm towards the wrist, like right in the middle, is just slooped
Oh
down
no.
low, and then her wrist up is yeah. And she wasn't screaming or anything at that point. Like she was just holding her elbow, and like everyone's like silenced. And like I look over at my mom because she was a paramedic, and I was like, "That girl just fucking broke her fucking arm." And my mom's like, "What? What?" And she goes to her parents, and they immediately lift her up, and they're just, instead of moving, they're just standing there talking. To which my brother-in-law was like, "Yeah, just fucking stand there while your daughter has a broken fucking arm." And eventually they moved down the bleachers and they just walk out, but she wasn't screaming or anything anymore.
I mean,
And so I was like, okay, the pain hasn't set in
adrenaline's a
yet.
hell of a drug. Uh,
Oh yeah.
but no, I definitely get that. When I broke my wrist, like I didn't feel any pain until they put the ice pack on my wrist to stop the swelling, obviously. But once they put the ice pack
Yeah.
on, I was like, "Oh
That's
no,
yeah.
something's wrong."
See, luckily, like I haven't like broke anything like that. Like I've broken my knuckles and like my toes and my nose, but I've never like shattered my arm or my leg like that. Thank God, because I would probably say some words that um wouldn't be really good.
No, I mean, as far as sports related injuries go, I broke my leg. I have a metal plate in there now. But
Let's see. Sports wise, um, technically football. We found out about my hip, but I mean we didn't break anything. But we found out about my hip issue,
yeah,
because of that. Baseball, I took a cleat to my leg, but it didn't break
I
anything.
took a
Um,
380-pound kid and a 240-pound kid right to my crotch in football.
oof.
Uh, it's the only
Oh, I took a baseball right to the fucking nuts.
oh, but
Yeah, I was trying out for catcher, and I signaled one down to the left, which is a fastball to the inside, and he just fucking hooks it right, and it was a fastball, but it dropped like a 12-6, so it was like a curveball, but it was a straight fastball, and where it hit the tip of my glove, and it just right back up and just douche. Yeah, that hurt.
yeah, no.
After that, I went and bought a cup.
You would have thought that I would, but I didn't. I just
Yeah,
kind of looked at my
well, I mean,
coach.
there's a reason why.
Oh, I just kind of looked at my coach and he's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Give me a minute." Oh my god.
Well, I think the most reason why athletes don't wear cups because it gets in the way.
hmm Yeah.
Like
I
I think like 80 or 90% of baseball players don't wear cups,
and
and catchers. I don't think any catchers wear cups at all. There's literally a compilation on YouTube of catchers getting hit in the nuts.
ow.
And the best one of that one though was Vince Scully, um, who was a commentary for the Dodgers, and catcher gets hit in the nuts, and he was like, "Are you okay?" "I'm okay."
Uh, no.
Indie backyard wrestling I took, which isn't a thing. It's either backyard wrestling or indie wrestling, but like I just say indie backyard because we weren't fucking dumb about it.
Yeah.
Um, I got a slight concussion. Um, I bruised my elbow pretty good, which it felt like I did chip it, but I didn't because the pain went away 2 days later. Which ironically I wrestled the next day, and that's when the
Oh,
concussion happened. Um, Broke my nose in 3 places, but luckily it wasn't like the bone. It was just my breathing canal. I cracked my orbital bone, but it wasn't like to the point where I looked like Owen Wilson.
oh
So
wow.
they didn't need to fix it or anything. Wow. And that's why I had two black eyes because of that one, and I don't remember what the third one was. But to this, like the weird effect to that is since they couldn't fix it, like if anything, like if you mess with my ears, like if you stick your finger in my ear like Wet Willie style, my nose will actually clog up.
Really?
It's it
That's
it
odd.
sounds fucking retarded, but it's true. It is true. That's why I don't use like
Cotton
earwax
swabs.
remover.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I as weird as it sounds, I have to use tweezers,
I get that. Yeah.
like the pointy side of tweezers, and like I only do that when I get out of the shower because it's not as bad.
Yeah. No. Thankfully, I don't have a huge injury list. I probably ignored way too many concussions in football. Uh, I've had
I did take a soccer ball to the face in Little League once,
it did what?
and it was during practice, and it was by the coach's teenage son too. He wasn't even on the fucking team.
Oh yeah,
Like we were practicing goals because I was the goalkeeper, and he just fucking whacking him, poof. It knocked me out for a minute.
man, I've only been knocked out
That was
once.
last year I played.
Man, I have the dumbest
Um,
story on
in
how I
in
got knocked out. Like,
Okay, I gotta hear this.
so this is an elementary school, and some fuckhead had broke one of the swings, but not completely.
Bastard.
Only one of the chains was still connected to the swing set. So
Oh, so it was like a weird, funky L kind of
yeah,
thing.
but it was like a chain one.
Yeah.
So Me and a bunch of the kids had the bright
Uh,
idea. Someone get on the seat and we're gonna pull it. And we were doing that for a while. People were holding on as much as they could, and they'd fall off. And they're like, "Oh, that was so much fun!" Finally, right at the end of recess, because I was a big kid, yeah, I didn't think anyone could pull
right.
me. Finally, at the end, they're like, "Troy, why don't you jump on? Jump on? Why don't you give it a shot?" I'm like, "Well, if you guys think you can." One, two, three pulls, and I
Teacher
get
just comes up.
launched.
Yeet!
No, no, no. I get launched off, and I scorpion.
Oh.
That the next thing I know, I'm waking up, and I turn around, and there's kids just standing over me. They don't ask if I'm okay. The only thing I hear is, "There's a hole in your pants," and then they run off to class.
The only time I've ever seen a scorpion is when I kicked a chihuahua for biting me.
Did the Chihuahua do the scorpion, or
I yeah, I almost shot the dog, but instead I fucking just fucking like football kicked it, just boom, and it launched in the air. And at that time I was like, fuck, pull, but I kick it and it goes flying and it landed the scorpion style, and it wasn't just like a hit and it rolled over and ran away. It hit in the scorpion position and dragged.
oh, well, it's what the little
And then it
bastard
was like,
gets for biting you.
And then I yelled at the owners that if their dog does it again, they're going to be burying a dead dog. And that was the last time I actually ever saw that dog. So
I mean, and for people that think that's cruel, just know when my dog bit the mailman and or FedEx driver, like he came to us and he kicked the dog. He kicked my dog, and
right,
he comes up to us. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." We look at him. "You should have shot the fucking dog. Like, we're not mad."
speaking about speaking of that, your mom told me that your new dog's fucking
Yes,
deaf.
yes, he is. He's an adorable little shit, but he doesn't hear a fucking thing.
It's like my dog, except for my dog's not deaf. She just snores and has horrible farts. What do
And
you
it's
expect from a pit bull?
well, if you listen to the media,
Yeah, they're evil fucking.
they're such horrible monsters. You're gonna get eaten alive. I hope you know that.
Nah, I'm 33. I don't give a fuck.
Look, I
Lives a good
forgot
life.
you were almost 24, or you were almost 10 years older than
I
me.
fucking wish,
Because I'm 24.
dude. When I was 24, I was still doing backyard indie fucking wrestling, which it's not. It's backyard wrestling.
Back in my day.
Back in the good old days. Which honestly, like, if I knew now what I didn't know then, like if I knew like now, I like there's days where I would never fucking do the wrestling. Then there's days where like fuck yeah, I'd do it over again. She was dope.
Oh, I mean, I was on YouTube from day one. You know what I mean? And if I had known how
Right.
big it was going to be, I would have begged my parents for, like, "What can I do to get a video camera?" and just start uploading shit and become one of the OGs and make fucking money. Like,
Dude, it's like my YouTube shit. Like I am literally like Soviet Womble. Will I just like upload like 2 months?
yeah, but
Like I recorded something today while I was waiting for you, and I literally edited it and whatnot. All I gotta do is upload it.
I just want to get a video capture card and just record me doing some shit. Get a camera, do something.
Dude, it's. I mean, if you do PC shit, all you gotta do is get Streamlabs.
Alright, yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
But I'd also like to get a camera so that people could see my
Nah.
ugly mug with the fabulous beard.
Nah.
Oh god, I
Don't
smacked
do
my
that.
mic. My mic's on my
That's
face.
why you don't want to do that.
And I smacked it.
That's why you don't want to do that.
That's not how to live my life. You're not my supervisor.
Not yet.
I'll just tell my mom. That'd be super mean to you. All right. I'm gonna tell on you. All right.
You don't have to. She already is.
I'll tell her to be
That's
more
right. Get
mean.
fucked, nerd.
I'll tell her to be more mean.
Oh, she was so pissed off the other day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which I
uh, I love my mom.
and
I
it
promise.
and it wasn't about me. It wasn't about me. Well,
Oh,
I mean, there was one
oh, I
part.
think mom told me the story. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, she was not. I don't
yeah.
live with my parents, by the way. Like, so I don't get to see.
Yeah.
You see my mom more than I see my mom, honestly.
I know your mom's more like my mom now.
Good, she can yell at you instead of me, and I'm sure she does.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She was like, "Watch the counter," and I was just staring at it, and I'm like, "Still there."
uh,
Just that look. I got the mom look. Next time I want to, next time she'll go watch the counter, I'll just go. It fucking disappeared.
oh no, she. I was always a smartass to my
I made
mom.
your mom. I made your mom laugh her ass off the other day though, because I get in and like my back was itchy, and so I went up to the old double decker doors, and I pressed my back into one of it, and I started doing the bare
Yeah.
necessities back scratch. And she goes, "Steven, you gotta look busy." I'm like, "I'm scratching my back." And she goes, "Well, if Chris comes up here, he's gonna put his foot up your ass." I'm like, "Fine, he can scratch my back."
Uh, I mean,
Your mom started laughing at that one.
no. It's the pleasure
So,
of working alone. I don't have to deal with people like that most of the time. But anyway, continue with what you were about to say.
okay, this is where it's gonna get like, I was gonna say super weird, but I think we've already broken that fucking barrier.
Yeet.
What's when did your mom know like you weren't a virgin anymore?
Probably the one when they heard my ex, because we weren't quiet. I mean, I don't know. I don't talk about my sex life with my parents. It's the one thing I don't tell them. I told them when I was drunk as
Oh,
shit as a
I
teenager. I told them when I was high as fuck as a teenager, and even now sometimes. But they don't need to know how and who I fuck. Well, depending on the person, they might get to know who, but they don't need to know how.
well, they like my dad when he on like he knew, like I would go into the room with a woman and he'd be like, okay, well, I know what they're doing, and like my mom would just be I would assume she'd be outside the fucking door just looking at the floor, and as soon as the light would go, she would just bang on the door, and she turn the fucking light back on, and the response was fine. I could do it with the lights on too. But like it took forever for my mom to actually finally just go, okay, well my baby boy is no longer a virgin.
I mean,
Like she still thought I was a virgin when I was first engaged.
really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like even when I was like, Mom, like Jess is not the first girl I fucked. And she's like, no, no, I was like, Mom, I lost my virginity when I was 18. Come on. No, 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 no.
but same at
But
18.
now she knows.
Virtual high
I
five.
was waiting for the right person. Well, is the fact that in high school I was a fucking loser, and I was too like it's literally today. The only difference from high school and today is I don't have a high and tight, and I got facial
Oh
hair.
no.
But
I,
like back then, back then and now it's like I'm too nervous to actually ask a
oh
girl
no.
out.
Have you
So
seen the Nice Guys subreddit? Or do you know of it? Know what it
who the
is?
fuck's the nice guys?
So it's these. It's a compilation of guys getting angry at women for not having sex with them because of
Oh
whatever
boy,
arbitrary reason. Like it's the woman's body; she can choose. But I was straight up one of the nice guys in high school. Like I was a piece of shit.
you were a simp.
Oh, yeah. Just I wasn't giving anyone money. I was just upset. I'm on the football team. I work hard. I'm such a nice guy. Why won't you just fuck me? Like,
Yeah, and here's the thing. In high school, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even care. It's like the only thing I cared about was like, ironically, finishing school, joining the army, and going to war. That's the only thing I was really thinking about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wanted to join the Marine
Like
Corps
I
out
didn't,
of high school, but
I did not think about getting my Peter fucking wet all 4 years of high school. Didn't think about it. Of course, technically, my first year of high school, half of it I was in a wheelchair, so I was high half my ninth grade year. So
nice.
medical pills are good. To which I gotta find my student IDs because my ninth grade year, you will see me higher than a kite, and like the handle to my wheelchair is in the back.
Oh no, I I was such an ass in high school, and I have people from my high school walk into my store all the time. Oh my God, Troy, it's so nice to see you. Yeah, I haven't seen you since high school. Yeah, you were such a nice kid. I'm like, you think?
Dude, like that's the thing is like when people like again, I didn't talk to anybody in high school. I was kind of a loner. Like I had my hacky sack group of friends, but that was about it. But like there would be people that never even spoke to me, like all the amount of years of high school and middle school, and like I would run into them. They'd be like, "Steven, hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey, how you been? Yeah, who are you?" It's like, "Oh, we went to high school together." I'm like, "We never fucking talked in high school. Why are you talking to me now?"
See, I was in that weird middle group where I wasn't exactly popular in high school, but I was the only one with my name and I was on the football team, so everyone knew who I was. Like, just the other day I had a guy.
See,
Oh, but no, just the
no,
other
go ahead,
day,
go ahead.
I had a kid who's just walks up. He's like, "Oh, you went to Snow Canyon, right?" Uh, yeah. Oh, nice. I thought I recognized you. I'm like, dude, I don't even recognize you. It's like, yeah, we weren't in the same group, but you know, you were on the football team and you're the only one with that name, so I knew exactly who you were. I'm like, yeah, so did everyone else. Like, fuck, I I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
See, that's the issue with like both of our last names. They're not so common.
No.
Because like when I started going to like Pineview Middle, like my like first day, every fucking period, that they would say my last name, and I'd be like, "Oh, here," and they'd go, "Do you have a brother named Chris?" And I'd be like, "No, no, he's my uncle." And then fifth or sixth period, there was a teacher named Mrs. Guido, and she was a fucking prick, but she was kind of cool at the same time. It was kind of weird. But that was my fatal mistake. She was like, "Do you have a brother named Chris?" And I should have said, "Nope, never heard of him." Because I guess he was a fucking dick to her. Like, which doesn't surprise me because he is kind of an asshole. And, like, he made her life hell for 2 years. And then I fucking show up looking like him with the same last name. Hence the reason why, oh, do you have a brother named Chris? She decided she was going to make my life a living hell.
No, man,
Yeah,
everyone
it was
thought I was
bad.
a teacher's pet. I just didn't give a fuck. Like, you're giving me work? Cool. I'm gonna get it done now so I don't have to fucking worry about it later. And, no, there was
There was one guy who, oh, sorry.
this one teacher, Miss Obernathy. She,
That name sounds familiar.
everyone fucking hated her. But she loved me. Like, I got 100% on a, essay that I didn't turn in. Like, I even went to her and I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about this assignment. I have other assignments." Like, she's like, "Don't worry, I graded it for you." I'm like, "Oh, the fuck do you mean you graded it? I'm sure you would have done great. I gave you 100." I'm like, "Bitch. All right."
She wanted your dick.
She was
It
84
reminds me of the
years
science
old.
teacher at Mill Creek. She wanted that bean, dude. She wanted that bean flicked. But
Oh God, no, no, go away.
the science teacher at Mill Creek, we called her Mrs. Hitler. Like she was a fucking ass. We were all sitting in there, and she had her back turned to everybody, and she was talking. She goes, "The Homo sapien," and like half the fucking class, she turns around. She goes, "I swear, the next person who does that is gonna be sent to the principal's office." So it's all quiet. She goes, "So the Homo sapien," to which I immediately went, "Nah."
As you do.
As I do, because I was testing if she was bullshitting or not. Yeah, she was bullshitting. I did fail the assignment though, so I guess
Yeah.
karma.
Hey, you want to entertain the people for a second? Like, a lot of water is rushing through my body. Oh Lord.
I'm thinking about it's a good time we actually end the podcast. We're a little bit
Yeah.
over an hour.
Okay, good. Because water balloons and popping.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't. That's a good way to end this podcast on a piss joke. All right, everyone.
Yeah. The French. All right. So until next time, everyone. This is Penguin with Bum Bum, and we're unfiltered.